Hi, it's KJ from Paranormal Crossroad, and I am so excited that you have found the Road to Peace podcast. During each episode, we'll interview amazing people who are helping make the world a better place by providing peace in many different ways, modalities, and things we've never heard of. We'll be talking about quantum healing, numerology, and things I have yet to discover. I'm excited to have you with me on the road to peace. Please subscribe so that you don't miss our upcoming episodes. It's definitely going to be a road you're going to want to travel with me. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Road to Peace podcast presented by Paranormal Crossroad. I am KJ, and I am so excited to have you on this road with us. As we began our show, the mission of Paranormal Crossroad was to bring peace to people experiencing the paranormal. And as we've gone along and you've become a part of our community, we've learned that there are a lot of ways that we can bring peace to our lives, regardless of if we're experiencing the paranormal, and that some of us can actually tune in to our intuition and get those messages from spirit and really learn to live a more peaceful life by being open to those messages that are trying to come through. So, as with every show that we do, I bring a guest in that will help you and help me and help all of us really find a way, another maybe new modality or option in experiencing that peaceful living and moving along on the road to peace. So today, joining me is a very, very good friend. Her name is Karmen Fink. And Karmen, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and what you do, because you have so many different ways of helping people kind of get in touch with spirit that you will describe what you do way better than I will.
Thanks, KJ. Yeah, so I'm a divine synergist, also known as a spiritual coach. My business is Heart's Joy, and I help people understand why they're here, how to live on purpose, and what I call in divine harmony. And a lot of people ask, what's that in divine harmony piece? And that's understanding how everything is connected around us. So I interweave astrology, numerology, how to communicate with your angel guides, and also Theta.
Can you say that last part one more time? I hit the wrong button. You said theta healing?
Theta healing, yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's like so I can already tell that there's like a bunch of people that are like, what is that? What is that? How do I do this?
All the juiciness.
Yeah, and so, with that question, I'm sure there was a point in your road to peace where you also heard about, theta healing or numerology or how to get in touch with your angels, and you went, what is that? How do I do that? So can you talk a little bit about how you got this far on your road and your history and experience that led you to where you are now?
Oh, I love this question. And this is my first time sharing my story. So thank you for the
Ah,
opportunity. Yes.
the
Uh,
world premiere of the Carmen Fink story.
I have a marketing degree, a marketing background, and I'm an event planner by trade. So I was in corporate land for almost 20 years. And actually, I started my company out as an event planning company. And shortly after that, then is when I started to ask questions about energy and chakras. And I had my first chakra healing, balancing done by somebody here locally. And I just got so curious. I ended up attending an event called Celebrate Your Life in 2014. That single event changed my entire life. It changed my relationship with God, how I understood it, everything. And it's almost like everything I had learned up until that point, both in the church and on my own, all came together. And I started to understand we're all saying the same thing using different words and methods to get there anyway. So when I came home, I said, well, I can put something on similar to this, which stay tuned for that because that is coming as well.
Yes.
And so, yeah, my company started out as an event planning company. And then as I shifted in my spiritual journey and kept doing my work, my personal work, then next thing you know, I'm sharing my gifts. And, I worked with a gal who helped me get in touch with my angels. So everything that I'm sharing and teaching others is what I've learned how to do as well and what resonates with me as well.
So, in everything that you've learned, if we have someone watching who or listening who would like to start out, right? Is there one type of, way that you do things? Like, is there a baby step, that gets you that result faster, that makes you feel like, okay, I got a little confidence now. Now I can move to learning how to do this, and I can move to learning how to do that. Like, where would you start?
There is. I love that question. Two answers: meditation and journaling. I learned how to meditate from a book by Gabby Bernstein, and I committed to meditating twice a day in the morning and the evening. And along with that, too, I started to journal. And actually, a few years ago, I was using almost three journals at the same time. And that's what led me to create my current journal, the Co Create Your Abundant, Passionate, Purposeful Life journal, that I created just
Oh
out
my
of what
gosh.
resonated for me. So,
Let
yeah.
me see that again. That looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, this
And
is
it's
all about showing up. How do you want to feel for that day, for the next 3 months? And then one intention that you want to experience.
so the journal is, it's not just a bunch of empty pages. It's actually guides you through, thinking about the important questions.
Yeah. We have morning and evening prompts as well.
Oh, that
And then
is that is so brilliant, because I'll tell you, Carmen, I've got a gazillion journals that are either empty, or I started, or I'm like, yeah, it's been so long, I'll just start with a new one. And then I do it for a little bit, and then I get out of the habit. Then I go back to it. I'm like, why don't I keep doing this?
Yep. We all do. It all happens. So,
But
yeah,
but sometimes I think you sit down with those blank pages and you're like, I don't even know what to say right now. So I think a guided journal is a wonderful way to make sure that you have those questions in front of you of like, okay, I'm overwhelmed right now and don't even know what to do, but I can answer that question.
exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Is that available on your website?
It is hearts-joy.com, or you can go to Amazon as well.
Okay. And you
Yeah.
have a class as well that you teach called a Live on Purpose.
Live on Purpose. And it goes, about 3 to 4 times a year, 8-week virtual class, and giving you tools. So every week you're going to learn new tools and to implement them into your life, because they say, what is it, 30 or 40 days it takes to create a new habit. So by the end of the class, you've created a new habit. You've learned how to communicate with your angel guides, how they're communicating with you. You've learned different modalities. So according to ThetaHealing, there's 7 planes of existence, and I teach on all 7 planes, all the different healing modalities.
Wow.
And the deeper portion of it is your why. Why are you here? That's your fire, your fuel for why we wake up every single day. A lot of people say it's to help people, and I say it's kind of BS. It's not a deep enough why, right? Because I can do
Mhm.
all sorts of things to help people and make money, but what I'm doing right now, and the bigger mission really, is to change the narrative of church, because for me, everything is connected together and I can bring that into it as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's, when we started Paranormal Crossroad, that was one of the things that we found in, people coming to us, was that there was a connection. And it was like, things that seemed totally normal to me, like picking up my pendulum and connecting to my higher self and getting yes or no answers. And people were like, wait, you do what? Like, I mean, so I think sometimes the way that we connect just seems like it's, well, that's totally normal, and doesn't everybody do that? And one of the other things that I've noticed on this road to peace with our viewers is that it seems like when you start searching for your purpose, it's very lonely. Like it's an inner struggle that you think nobody else will understand. And connecting with you and joining the Indie Holistic Hub and the community that we have created with Paranormal Crossroad, it's like, wow, we're all actually really connected and all just trying to find our thing. And it just feels like we elevate so much quicker if we don't try to do it on our own. Do you find that as well?
Yeah, actually, years ago, while I was going to church, I really thought that I was being punished by God. I thought God was
Wow.
separate from me. And keep in mind, I grew up in the church, And every church is different. And some churches, will teach, a lot of them that I found will teach the separateness and you've got to do this to get here. And I really thought that some of the decisions I had made when I was younger, I was being punished for. When in reality, what I realized is I wasn't connected to myself. I had no relationship with myself. And then as I started to get that relationship with myself and focus on that relationship, that's just an extension, divine source, whatever you want to call that, is what I
Can
found.
can you talk about an experience since you began, working with other people and helping them find their purpose? Some sort of story or experience that you knew, like, I can see right now that person, the light has come on, the purpose is there. This is the work I should be doing, and I'm so glad that this person is here with me.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Yes, in one of the last classes, you will receive your numerology report, and it's your soul's contract you chose before you came in this lifetime, and it shows you multiple things, and one of them is your life path. And I look at that because that will show us what you really should be doing here during your time on Earth. And my client was a life path 7, which meant that it's an inward time for her. She needs a lot of alone time. She's very analytical, very in her head. And she was a hairdresser. And she couldn't understand why she was tired all the time. And when I did her numbers, and we do a brain dump, and I can see everything you love to do, and it's the complete opposite of what she's doing right now. So I use all these different tools and modalities together. And I said, one, that's why you're so exhausted, because you
Yeah.
need your alone time and you're working in other people's energy fields. And that just, it was mind blowing for her. And then for me to see that too, and to see the change in her and to see what she's working on launching right now. I
Wow.
love that. It gives me the joy, right? The heart's joy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, how cool, and yeah, how exhausting. I mean, a hairstylist is just like giving and giving, and you're doing all of this work, and there's all of this energy that comes into you because we all like our hairstylist to be our therapist, right? She's like, "Oh my gosh, I just want to be alone, but here I am just being everything to everyone." That's amazing. And she is, since working with you, she is on a different path that's going to bring her more joy.
Totally different path. She said she loves to work with horses. And so now she's looking into creating, I don't want to call it a farm, but a place where people
Mhm.
can go for horse therapy is what she's working on right now. And she's still doing hair as
Mhm.
well, to make the money. And that's the thing that a lot of people get confused is they're so focused on, well, my bills are being paid, so I don't want to go take this leap of faith. And you and I've
Yeah.
had this conversation. And also, that's a limiting belief that I think it passed down from generation to generation. I know it was given to me when I realized that that's not my belief. It was something I took on from somebody else, and you can break away from that narrative because that's all it is. Then you can shift and do whatever it is that brings you joy that you want to do.
And I feel like we're in a great space where there is that shift because it was pounded generation after generation. Like, what are you gonna do to make money? What are you gonna do to get your house and be secure and pay your bills? And it's like, well, wow, like, can we talk about what you're gonna do to be happy?
Exactly.
And I lived in a weird world where I grew up with farmers, and, a lot of my family, did 30 years in a factory and got their retirement and their pension and all of those things. And they're looking at me. I'm like, I want to go be on the radio. And I don't know, maybe I'll be a dancer. Like, they're like, well, how are you going to make money? Well, I don't know.
When we do what we love, those passions, and that's what a lot of people we forget about. When we
Yeah.
do what we love, the money just comes in instead of chasing the money, being unhappy. So don't get
How
your job confused. Yeah.
How do you help people? I think that's the biggest thing in it overcoming things, is that when you have financial security to take that leap, not knowing, how you're going to pay your bills. How do you help someone overcome that? Or is there something that someone watching right now can start saying to themselves or doing to get them ready for that step?
Mindset is everything. So, yes, a couple of things mindset. Watch your words. Because if you say, I can't afford that, I can't this, I can't that, that's what you're creating. Those Yella Van Zant calls our words prayers to the universe. And I talk a lot about the co-creation, the through our thoughts and our words and our actions. And the other thing is through a theta healing session. Theta healing is a modality that I've learned where during a session we'll discover where this underlying belief came from. So it could have come from something early on in your childhood or from one of the parents, and we can go back 7 generations as well. And
Wow.
then I go up to what they call creator, and theta healing, and as long as you believe in instant healing, then you'll receive that instant healing as well. So
Are
that's
you
theta
are
healing.
you telling us like there's like a great, 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 great grandmother that might be impacting how we're living our lives right now?
Absolutely. All of it.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yep.
Wow. Wow. We're going to have you back on just to get into, if you would, more of that theta healing, because that is that's fascinating. I'm like, want to get out my genealogy and be like, why are you holding me back?
And I always say, but that's a blessing, it's a part
Mhm.
of the lessons of things that we get to learn to overcome.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
this is wonderful. I'm going to put up all the ways to get in touch with you, but just one more time, your website is the easiest way to find you, correct?
hearts-joy.com. Yes.
All right. And one fun fact about Carmen before we go, she used to perform burlesque as a hobby and she played 4 games on Family Feud. And you met Steve Harvey?
Steve's amazing. He's so much fun. Yeah.
Oh my so were you I assume you were on Family Feud with your family?
Yeah. My cousin and her sister and husband and my uncle, we played 4 games down in Atlanta because that's where Steve lives. It was a ton of fun, beautiful time. I freaked out on camera, but they spliced it out luckily. So, yeah,
Oh my gosh. What was do you remember what the question was that you freaked out about?
we didn't even get to the questions. It was I have a full audience in front of me when you do the fast round at the very end
Oh
of the
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw those people and you have three cameras pointing at you, I couldn't talk. I could
You had to do the fast round thing?
Yeah,
Oh my
on
gosh.
our 3rd show. But I will tell you, the 2nd show is the one that I bailed everybody out because I was the last player.
Mhm.
And Family Feud, by the way, for those of you who used to watch it in the old days, used to be all the members went up and answered the questions.
Yes.
And this time they've changed it, the rules. So the last person doesn't have to go up unless it's a tiebreaker. Well, it was a tiebreaker and I wasn't paying attention. And he called my name and I was like, what? I don't want to go up. So I went up. I do remember that question. And it was something about what do new moms stress about? Like, and
Mhm.
the answer was diapers. And I got it. We
Oh my
won.
gosh. So that do you guys I mean, I always wondered with Family Feud, I mean, which has so many questions about Family Feud. Like, I'm like, how does the money get split? Who pays the taxes? Like, was there a lot of stuff afterwards that you were like, "Oh, this is a lot of paperwork, and maybe we didn't really win much of anything."
We did all the paperwork ahead of time. So
You
you're
did?
you're
Okay.
there in the morning and you're basically trying out again and they go over all these rules and yeah,
That
you do all the paperwork ahead of time and then when you win, there's other things on the back end that you do and you do pay
oh
taxes. So yeah. Yeah.
Ah, oh, that is so fun. Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for sharing your Family Feud story. And we will certainly be welcoming Carmen back with us on the Road to Peace podcast. She's been on the road with us. She's in our group if you want to join as well. It's PX Roadies, and it's a wonderful group of people that, there are some paranormal groups that are just like paranormal and is is this weird and that here's a story. But our group really is sort of this spiritual, uplifting community. And yes, we're all interested in the paranormal, but we're really invested in elevating each other and continuing on the road to peace together. So thank you very much, Carmen. We will see you again soon.
Thank you, KJ.